So I bought some gear in preparation for what I had an idea for a podcast, and this was way before the elephant in the room named Corona came into our lives. I really want to do this podcast about music, and that is definitely in the works. But I thought since everything's going on right now, and I wanted to practice with some of the audio gear, and that I just thought I would just go ahead and do something different. So I wanted to have a cup of coffee with you all and just talk about things. So let's go ahead and do that. Does that sound okay? I got my family in the background. I have Brooklyn. She's watching her. What are you watching, Brooklyn?
Playing Thomas the Train game.
She's watching Thomas the Train right now. So
yeah, it comes to life.
It's very educational. So I like Thomas and the Train. But anyway, I want to talk about panic and fear. That seems to be what a lot of people are going through right now. I realize that there's two types of responses, different types of people, and how they handle these kind of situations. On one side, you have people that are extremely panicky. And the other side, you have the people that have found some sense of calm. And what I've realized is nothing productive comes from panic. And also nothing productive comes from not caring about this situation at all. So let's put that aside, the people that don't care about this situation at all. That's a totally different situation, a different problem in itself. But panic has caused a lot of issues like hoarding and a lot of misinformation out there. When I was in boot camp, we had to do this swim training where we would jump off a platform. I'm not even sure how high it was. It was pretty scary high. I don't know what that is, 20, 30 feet, who knows? We had to jump with our arms crossed and our legs crossed, and we would jump into this swimming pool, and we would have to wade for about 15 minutes. Well, that was easy for me. I'm a swimmer. It was no issue. So I jump in, I'm waiting for about 5 minutes, and then all of a sudden there were other sailors jumping in and having to wade along with me. Well, what started happening is the people that couldn't swim very well were getting very panicky, and they started splashing around, and it affected me. It affected me that I couldn't remain calm. So I had to find my sense of calm in that situation. So what I'm saying is panic affects people around you. Now, I'm not really the panicky type, but I have experienced panic at 9/11. I actually thought that I was going to have to buy guns and go out in the woods and live off a tree bark. But that soon passed, and I learned from that situation and how to handle my fears. So my purpose in doing this video right now is the question that came to my mind is, what can panic-stricken people learn from the calm in the midst type of person? What are their habits, and what can we learn from them in order for you to feel a little bit more safer in this situation right now, a little more calm in the situation? So one of the things that many people do that aren't panicky is they just don't watch a lot of cable news. It might be shocking to you to know that news outlets like that are paid to make you feel some type of fear, to make you feel a certain way. Have you heard the term, if it bleeds, it leads? Well, that's something I learned in Communications 101 class. That's something I learned as in media studies, which is where I got my degree in media studies, is that you put the terrifying, the fearful news up front, because that's how you're going to get paid. That's how you're going to make your money. I'm sorry if you didn't know that, but that is true. So how am I going to get my information if I don't watch the news, if I don't watch cable news or anything like that? Well, there are different ways you can do that. The first thing is listen to the White House press conferences. They are daily. They are very informative. Now, if you don't like the president, that's a personal problem I can't help you out with. But they're very thorough, and they'll tell you what you need to know. Might I also add, this is no time for political divisiveness. It's just no time for it. You may feel a certain way about your president. You may feel a certain way. Well, it might not be your president. I'm sorry. You might feel a certain way about him, but that's where you're going to get straight out of the horse's mouth, so to speak, what you need to know. Another resource I found from a friend it's called The New Paper, and I'll put the information right down here. Now, The New Paper is an online resource where they really try to subtract all the bias and just put the facts. The next thing that non-panicky people do is they use their time wisely. They read, they spend time with their family, they walk, they meditate. Yes, it's okay to be bored. Boredom is fine. It's a time for you to think about things. It's a time for you to work on something, to be creative. 2 weeks. 2 weeks equals 336 hours. If you get 8 hours of sleep, that equals 112 hours in 2 weeks. If you work from home, that's another 112 hours. And if you do the math and you start punching in things of times you spend on social media scrolling versus the times you spend with your family, you might be quite alarmed with what you're doing with your time. So be careful, especially scrolling social media. I cannot stress that more because there's a lot of fear out there and there's a lot of false information out there, memes that tell you something that is totally not true. So be really careful whenever you're scrolling and posting, and just spend less time on it. It's really not worth it. Facebook is not one of the most important things you need in your life right now, unless you're watching this video. That's when it's important. And please don't be one of those people that are worrying about what everyone else does. Oh my, Linda, did you see Veronica's out there jogging all by herself? She doesn't care about people. Have we realized that we cannot control anyone but ourselves? Has it made it any better for you to personally worry about Veronica taking a run in the park? One of these days, this will all be over. We're going to have to be brave and face the world. These times call for courageous people, helpful people, good people, calm people. So I hope this helps. Enjoy your day, and thanks for having a cup of coffee with me.